This is Dan Cruz's life.
Do you know what my life is like? Do you know what it's like? Trapped in your own house?
In the fall of 1986, Cheryl Cruz was driving down this rain-slicked road near the Illinois-Wisconsin border, singing with her 3-year-old son, Dan. The car slid, hit another car, and landed in the ditch.
So I was on the other side of the car and bleeding, and I looked, and all of a sudden I noticed that his face was all blue. And I started to scream. They came and told me when I was in the hospital, they were waiting for my lung to reinflate, that he wasn't going to make it. He had a year to live.
Dan was paralyzed. Doctors later said he would live maybe until he was 24. Dan is now 28, and he's had enough.
I wish somebody would drive by and just shoot me. Something quick, something painless.
Dan can only move his neck, and that's what sets this case apart. Dan feels helpless since he's physically incapable of ending his own life. Dan's mother and brother primarily care for him now with the help of an overnight nurse. The family won a multi-million-dollar lawsuit for a defective booster seat, enough to build this custom handicapped-accessible home in Antioch, and they thought take care of Dan for life. Today, their home is in foreclosure.
So now if you gave me $50 million, if you gave me $50 billion, wouldn't change anything because I'm not doing anything.
Kayhan Parsi is Associate Professor of Bioethics at Loyola's Niswonger Institute, part of the Stritch School of Medicine. This Catholic teaching hospital helps future doctors learn how to deal with end-of-life issues of all kinds. But Dan's case is rare. He's conscious, and his death is not imminent.
What I see as an ethics consultant here at Loyola is this issue of benefits and burdens. You know, what are the benefits of continued health care, treatment, intervention, management, and then what are the burdens that the patient has to face?
Dan's death wish started 2.5 years ago when he went to his doctor for a routine physical.
I asked my doctor what kind of alcohol he'd recommend because I wanted to get blitzed on a daily basis. And he said, well, instead of doing that, why don't we disconnect you from the vent? Now, we had never been given that option.
And there's a legal and moral consensus that patients have the right to refuse life-sustaining treatment
if they're of sound mind, but doctors diagnose Dan as depressed, and by their definition, not of sound mind.
Yes, I'm depressed, but you put anybody in my shoes. You can put damn near anybody in my shoes. They're going to be depressed.
I don't believe he's overly depressed. I believe he's 29 years almost, and of them, all but 3 of them, he's been like this. And he's been a great sport. He just doesn't care about much of anything anymore.
That wasn't always the case. Dan proudly shows us the home video from his high school graduation where he received a standing ovation. He left college with a criminal justice degree and dreams of becoming a prosecutor. But a shortage of money for law school and shrinking career prospects began to rob him of happiness. Professor Parsi says people want the power to call their own shots, which include taking their own life or choosing how to live it.
Maybe if he had that ability, maybe he wouldn't take, and maybe this is just, again, kind of an issue of having some control over your life.
Number one, I couldn't do that. I just couldn't stand there and watch him die.
Dan says he could live 20 years or more, and the fact that he's lived so long as a quadriplegic is a testament to how well his family has cared for him.
If he wants to live, I'm all for it. I'm here for as long as I can take care of him, till I'm crippled up and can't do it anymore, but I'll be here for him. But if he doesn't want to live, I'm here for him too.
Many people with religious beliefs have encouraged Dan to fight for life, but Dan has slowly surrendered his faith.
Do you sit through your life praying that somebody will shoot you or stab you or will do whatever it is to make it quick? No, they're not in my shoes or their shoes or anybody else's shoes. So they have to stop judging.
Dan says he's happiest in the dark because it reflects his mood, but he can't shut out the sounds of his ventilator, a haunting reminder of his fight to make his own decision and in death bring peace for him and those who love him.